Welcome to the Glow Interviews. My name is Katie Oman and I am an author, psychic, a motivational speaker and coach. The Glow Interviews is a place where we can meet some really amazing and inspirational people who are a light in the darkness. I know that by talking with them, we will all be left feeling empowered, inspired and hopeful for a brighter tomorrow. All of the contact details for both myself and my guests will be in the description box below. So if you want to connect with either of us, please feel free to do so. Today's guest is Calista, healer, author, spiritual teacher, ascension pioneer, and the founder of Unicorn Healing, Angel Healing, and Atlantean Crystal Healing Systems. Calista wrote the books Unicorn Rising and The Female Archangels, both of which are fantastic. Go and check them out, they're amazing. So through over 200 workshops, meditations, and attunements, Calista seeks to connect people to both themselves and to spirit. It's an absolute pleasure to speak with her today, and I know she's going to bring so much light, and we're all going to be left feeling awesome. I promise you that. So thank you, Calista, and how are you doing, kids?
Oh, what an intro. I am good. Thank you for asking me to be here.
You're very welcome. It's very weird hitting your bio, right? I always people do mine, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm actually pretty awesome.
Like, have I done all of that? Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. So, look, we have to address this huge elephant in all of our rooms at the moment. 2020 has been a little bit crazy, just a bit. So how are you? How have you been coping? And, have you been able to find anything good about this crazy year?
Yeah, I try to see the positive in everything, no matter what is going on. But yeah, it has been a bonkers year. I think we've all been affected. We've all probably seen just how strong we are. I think our strength has really been reflected. But I'm a big believer that positive change is here, and there's more positive change coming. We're in a brand new ascension cycle, new 7-year path cycle. So this is the first year, so it's going to be a shake-up year.
Yeah, it has. And in terms of your emotions and stuff, I mean, has it kind of been a bit of a up and down thing, or have you managed to find some kind of calm and balance amongst it all?
Well, see, I have 3 young kids, so they were off nursery, they were off school, and I had to homeschool, but also continue to work. My second book, The Female Archangels, came out the first day of lockdown in the UK, so there was so much going on. But I navigated through like all of us. We're all pioneers in different ways. So yeah, feeling good.
Good. So like I said in your bio, you've written 2 amazing books, and I've been very privileged to read both of them and review both of them, and they're awesome. So did writing them prove to be a light for you as well as everybody else who read them? Did you find them a helpful thing to write in your own life?
They were so cathartic, and they got me through some really challenging times. Like the last book, The Female Archangels, my dad passed in December 2019, and also there was the end. Yeah, there was also the end of the relationship. I was engaged to my daughter's father, and so that came to an end, and it just seemed like everything that I knew was kind of crumbling away. And it's such a big thing.
A real tower moment in Tower.
Yeah, it is the Tower card. Yeah, the Tower card. Yeah, everything. Yeah, just crumbled away to lose a parent, even though we don't really lose them. But it was still such a big transition. Yeah, I was on deadline to finish the book. It was a couple of days before Christmas. Like, there was so much going on. But these beautiful beings, incidentally, and there's not many books and people talking about them, but they're here, these beautiful female angels. They bring spirituality and angel connection right down to such a practical level, and they saw me through that time. That was a really dark time, and they got me through. The book was able to be written. I was able to pick myself up after that relationship, and actually the connection that I have with my dad is stronger now in spirit than it was ever in the physical.
Yeah.
So you see, yeah, so the books were definitely a light in the tunnel for sure.
So is it like for both the unicorns and the female archangels, it's been a kind of, I suppose, a case of developing that relationship with those beings while you've been writing the book?
Yeah, I mean, I've been
Yeah.
working with the unicorns and the angels for over 15 years.
Mm.
And both of those books the seeds were planted years ago, but I wasn't ready. I had to
Yeah.
become a mum. There was lots of other things that needed to be put into place. But Unicorn Rising, I was healing from postnatal depression.
Mm.
Like, I truly think those of us who are here to shine a light and be way showers and, you know, hold a big space, we've actually had quite a dark past. You know, a lot has happened to us. Do you not
Yeah.
believe that?
I can totally vouch for that one, Christ almighty. But my friend said to me, because I used to be quite a victim to it, I used to feel that it was all very unfair, that things that had happened. And then I realised, she said to me, but Katie, these things are happening for you, not to you. Because the idea is you're supposed to use what you're going through then to help other people, to be that light. And the only way that you can really be the light is to have empathy for people who are in the dark. And I was like, wow, that was just like, that was a kind of real aha moment, as Oprah would say. I was like, okay, I can see this differently now, you know?
It gives it perspective, and then it lessens, the heaviness lessens. And yeah, unicorns, I think a lot of people think, wow, unicorns, that's a little bit far-fetched, but the major types of unicorns, because there are many different types, but the major types come from the angelic kingdom. So if we believe in angels, unicorns isn't that far away, you know,
No,
from
absolutely.
but they are here to usher in the new golden age. And they also can give us just that reflection of who we are in the darkest of times. They reflect that we are creator incarnate. There is no sort of external God out here. We are the God. We hold that power within. We just have to remember. So yeah, the unicorns really helped me to transcend postnatal depression, but to use, just as you said, to use my experiences to then help another, to help many women who've dealt with that. So yeah, gratitude for them.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, and it's a kind of a side question. I hadn't written this down, but it just came into my head. Do the unicorns and the angels have any guidance or messages for us as a collective going through this, or have you not asked that kind of question?
I ask that question pretty much every day, and then I ask, how can I step up to that? How can little me step up to that? And they really are guiding us all to ask the same question: how we can serve the collective, like what we can do with our gifts and talents. What can we do to bring more empowerment, more light into this world? And we can all do something. Angels help to open our hearts so that we see the beauty of who we are from the inside out, whereas the unicorns help us to connect with our soul and our spirit, and then our godhood, to really remember our divinity. So working with both of them helps us to navigate day-to-day personal challenges, and then also to help us on our spiritual path. So yeah, every day, Katie, they have different messages.
I'd imagine there'll be times when you're like, what is going on? Come on, help.
Today's flow, and we picked a card as well just before we came on, was all about relationship harmony, and that's what they've been talking about this whole week. Is the flow of it is relationships. Like, how are you relating to yourself? How do you relate to another? Where are you holding judgment? Where are you gossiping? Where is it? Because with all the COVID stuff that's happening, everybody's got an opinion on everything. So there's so much judgment and drama. Angels, yeah, do you feel in that too?
Yeah, I just feel there's a lot of noise. I think
Yes.
people are very polarized in their views, and people are very kind of, this is my flag and my stand of my view, and I will not be moved from this view. And if you don't agree with me, then you are wrong. And it's like nobody's willing to meet each other halfway anymore. No one's really willing to find middle ground and compromise and to listen to each other. It's very aggressive, it's very dynamic, but from a bad point of view, you know, it's quite hard. As someone who's an empath, and I know we both are, it's really intense at the moment, I think.
Yeah, the angels keep, I mean, they've shared this message for a while, but there is a two-world split right now. There are those who are focused on moving forward and positive change and bringing more equality and unity to this life experience, and there's those who just are rigid. They don't want to move forward. They're stuck in their fear, and you can really feel that, just like what you said. You can really feel the divide.
Yeah, it's really like almost some kind of spiritual battles going on between the light and the dark right now, and it's rough. It is. As somebody who works in this field, believe me, it's not all love, light, and rainbows at the moment. It's tough. It is, but we have to just keep trying to hold the light, right? That's kind of the key to it.
Just keep staying in our heart as much as we can, without denying what's going on, without burying our head in the sand and going, oh, let's see all love light. No, you know, to be a peaceful warrior where we can be in our heart, see what everything's going on, but not attach to it and not react to it. It's a dance, isn't it? Like every day.
It is. It's a wonderful tightrope walk, and somebody who has no balance at all, it can be a bit wibbly wobbly at times. Oh, geez Louise. Now, many people may not know about Calista, if you've not connected with her before, but Calista didn't always work in spiritual fields. She actually studied medical biotechnology. I had to go and find that out. And I know that you were a cancer research scientist. So for those that don't know, I know the story, but a lot of people don't. Why in the world did you make the leap from such dynamic thing to over here to a thing over here? How did that happen?
I know. I look back and think I am completely a different person on all levels, but there's still a little part of the scientist that's within me. Like, I don't believe in anything until I have an experience of something, which I think is savvy, and you need that groundedness in spirituality these days. So going back to 2006, I had got to a point in my scientific career where I just became so disillusioned by science, the pharmaceutical world, and it all seemed to be about money and making the executive richer rather than actually helping the people. And I just got to that point where so many of us do. It was obviously time for me to wake up, but I didn't realize at that time. I just thought the shit's hitting the fan, like everything was going wrong in my life. And I remember thinking, will I go back and do my PhD, or will I start a family? I was engaged at the time. And I decided option C was better, which was to do a evening course in Reiki.
Okay.
And back then, the courses in Reiki were extended. So they were over a good couple of months for each level. And then your master's was over a year. So I take my time to go through. I was super cynical at the beginning, though. I thought everybody was nuts. And my Reiki teacher was a charlatan asking us for money. I was so hardened by life. I was so cynical because I've kept my journals. I've kept my Reiki, the notes.
Wow, I bet that's interesting to read.
Oh, it's so funny. I like talking about, I was so judgy, and I was talking about different people and giving them names, and it was awful. I actually cringed. But Reiki for me, it just spoke to me, and as I learned to soften and to stop judging so much, I realized it actually helps. It really helps a person, and it was a doorway. It opened up spirituality for me, and all the spiritualism that I had when I was younger. Because I come from a long line of spiritualist mediums and healers, and so it's in my blood. So a nice bridge, I thought anyway, from leaving science was to study herbal medicine. So that's what I did. I did a diploma in herbal medicine, and then set up my own skincare company, infusing all the products with Reiki. And then later on, angel energy, because I started to meet angels in meditations, and my world completely changed. My fiance We broke up. The friends that I had were all from science. I had no money. I was living in a little flat, but I loved it because I was surrounded by spirit. I was surrounded by
Yeah.
the angels. I felt for the first time in my life, I'm actually making a difference. Because I would have healing clients, and then I'd have my herbal business, and they were doing really well. And then I won a competition, like a Dragon's Den style competition, to have a shop, and I made it into a crystal shop and holistic healing center,
Right.
called Ethereal Light, for 3 years. So I won this competition following the unicorn's advice and the angel's advice, and from there the healing modalities that I teach around the world were born.
There's a real kind of progress just by you kind of saying, I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled, and trusting that enough to actually do something about it and to follow it and to follow your intuitive guidance. Because I think a lot of people settle, a lot of people get stuck in this space of being very unhappy, very unfulfilled, very lost, but are too fearful to do anything about it. So they just keep going round and round and round, you know?
Too fearful, or too lazy, or too complacent. I see it so many times, but there's an angel, the counterpart of Archangel Michael, she's called Archaea Faith, who literally inspires us to take these leaps of faith in relationships, in career, move in our house, whatever we need to do, like just to leap. And
that's the thing. I mean, you were in science, cancer research. I was a teacher. You know, two very safe, well-paid jobs. You know, for people, for some friends and family, for us to make that, to leave them, because, and it was like, I said, I'm sure it was the same for you. It was like, what are you doing? Like, you did all this training, you did all this work, you're in a good job. What are you doing? And yet, it's hard to explain when you just feel. I felt like there was like this empty space in my heart and soul that nothing could fill. And God knows I tried to fill it with stuff, and nothing would work. And that's because I was looking in all the wrong places. And it wasn't until I connected to spirit and I was like, now I get it.
And was there anyone in your family who was supportive?
My mum's been great. My mum's always been fantastic. She's real, because she's always been someone that's taken chances and believed in herself enough to follow her passion. So she's always championed me, thank God, because I think if all of them had turned against me, it would have been quite hard to go, but I want to.
This is the thing, and it's good to mention, because I believe many of us, I've seen it, maybe you have too, like those of us who take the risks and do the leaps of faith and trust our soul and our spirit, we're often the black sheep of the family, the rainbow sheep of the family. Do you not think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I always felt like I was
definitely
different from everybody else. I can't know why. I just knew I was not like other people, you know?
Yeah. I think we come down as these rebels to change the genetic line and not in the energy of our ancestry, and we're like, no, change is going to happen. But everyone's like, what?
Like, what happened? She was such a lovely child. What in the world happened?
Pretty much everybody in my family, apart from my mum, look at what I do and go, I do not understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're not very nice with it. That's me being very nice, saying they're not.
I've been called some stuff as well, but we won't publicly say what. But yes, it's been difficult. But you have to just stay true to who you are, I think, you know, and not let other people take you away from that, you know. It can be hard, but you know, if you follow your passion and your purpose, that's ultimately the most important thing, I think.
That's a greater message though for what's happening right now. You know, I think a lot of people are being challenged, and we have to be sovereign. We've got to stay in our authenticity and go, no, this is what I believe, this is my truth. Not judge anyone else's perspective, but just stay true to us. And the more of us that can do this, the more our world is going to lighten, and there won't be such huge, there will not be the need for all these radical big shifts like pandemics and riots and everything. It will just be little bumps, hopefully.
Yeah, which we can deal with little bumps. I mean, God, after 2020, little bumps seemed delicious and complete relief, right? I would give anything for little bumps in the road right now. God, Lord. Anyway, so what do you wish then that you'd known at the start of your journey that you know now? What do you lesson you already knew you didn't have to go through?
A hand on my heart. I'm so glad I went through everything.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, but it's so true. I was searching there and I was asking my guides, and honestly, everything has served. And you know, the angels often say that sometimes we feel like we have lost our way and we come off the path. But everything is the path. We are the path. You know, we can never stray from who we are. No. We can only stray in the perspective that we carry in our mind and how we're judging. But everything has served. And I've transcended things like postnatal depression, sexual abuse, bulimia, self-harm, the universal things like divorce that we all go, you know, some people go through, and loss, separation, all these things. But I'm stronger. It's such a cliche thing to say, but I'm stronger, much more savvy, not perfect. But at least it's given me humility to understand that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was chatting to the episode before this, which will come out, with Lynn Thurman, and she says every time her biggest thing is that every time that she's not trusted her intuition, things have gone completely wrong. And I think, and I can really resonate with that. It's like the journey's been like everybody else, and I've got ups and downs, but I know that every time I've not listened to myself, my inner guidance, that it has really hit the fan. So that's probably been my biggest thing.
Yeah. But is there any true failure if you've learned from it?
No, of course there's not. Of course there's not. You just wish that things might have been slightly, you know, I understand what you're saying, but, you know, yeah.
Do you know what?
Here and there, you know?
I know now, you know, I sit up in the morning before the craziness of my life begins, and I always say to myself, what is highest and best for me to focus on today? And if my higher self and guides say, take the day off, I will follow it to the letter, even if I've got a huge to-do list, because you have to. You just have to keep following your intuition, and it does lead for a more graceful life, doesn't it?
It just makes things flow easier, I think. It's not necessarily that the blessings, the abundance won't come to you, but you're making that journey a lot harder than it needs to be.
Yeah.
That's what I found. You know, it's like really is the long way round. Things, when you're in flow, everything's just so much easier.
We don't have to hustle in anything, in work, in sexuality, in relationships. The more that we can flow, it just becomes happier and easier.
So for those people who don't know, because I'm sure there are different people watching this video, how do you do that? How do you connect down, or however you do it, to yourself? How do you connect to your in-intuition?
I actually don't connect to my intuition. I connect to my awareness. This is something that's came through more recently, but your intuition can easily be influenced by the judgments of other people. Your memories, for example, you can hold a judgment to a relationship, for example, because you assume all men are like this or all women are like this based on historical facts that your ego and your memory within you just likes to remind you. And so you can be influenced that way. You can be influenced by false guides, entities. There's so much energy coming up, released from the earth right now. So what I do is I tap into my awareness, which is our essence, that we can tap into being completely present.
Right.
On a more practical level, it's your gut instinct. It comes from solar plexus. So that's what I do now. I just take a few moments every morning, just a deep breathe, come into my heart or come into my solar plexus, and just be.
Yeah.
And bring gratitude first, just to get me in the zone, and then it will literally just be, and I'll ask the question, what do I need to focus on today?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's probably one of the blessings, sorry to interrupt, that 2020 has given us, is that we've learned to slow down, and we've learned to get off this kind of treadmill of going round and round, which has given us, I mean, obviously it's starting back up again now, but I hope people realise that the blessing that comes from stillness and quietness and just being, you know, rather than constantly feeling the need to do, because you can't connect with yourself if you're constantly surrounded by noise. That's what I found anyway.
Yeah, you can't hear your truth if all you're hearing is other people.
Mm.
For sure. So I do that in the morning, and then all throughout the day, if I can, if there's moments, I'll either meditate, or I'll dance, or I'll work out, or I'll go for a walk. All of those aspects are important. Like I value the importance of balance. You're talking about balance. So I make it a priority to work my body out, to work my mind, to read something that is, or connect with somebody on a higher, more expanded vibration than I am, to keep in that humility and always be in the learning or the remembering. And then I'll employ the stillness and also the fun. You know, it's such a balance. If we can stay right in the center, be the calm in the storm, we've got it. We've mastered life.
Definitely. I'm a huge fan of dance breaks. I love a dance break. I put some 90s R&B on, girl. I am all over that. You know what I mean? Like chocolate on toast. It's like it's my thing. When the energy gets too heavy and too stressful, I'm like that. Right, dance break. Let's just lift things, you know?
And did you know that singing out loud is the #1 thing that boosts your radiance, that actually boosts the light in your auric field? It expands your aura and lights you up. Singing aloud, even if you've got, which you do.
What if you can't sing? Because my voice is like, it's been so flat, it's been sat by an elephant.
It doesn't matter. As long as it feels good, it's coming from your heart and your soul.
Okay. I mean, you know, in this house we love Frozen, so yeah, there's a lot of Let It Go, very out of tune going on. But you know, we smile, it's fine.
As long as you feel good, Katie, that's the main thing.
Exactly. So if you could travel back, time travel, get your DeLorean out and go back into your childhood self, what in the world would you say to your younger self?
Oh my God. I've got that song now, Don't Stop Believing. But literally, I would say that, don't stop believing. Don't stop believing in your goodness, in your kindness, in your beauty and your worth. Just don't stop believing in you and what you came here to do. You're here, little master soul. You're here with a big path. Keep shining. Don't let people I think that's a book title, don't let people dull your sparkle, but it's so true. You know, just keep on shining and believing. What would
It's one
you
of my
say?
favourite quotes actually is, don't let anyone dull your sparkle, you were born to shine. It's one of my favourite.
What would you say?
I think I would probably say that she was perfect as she was, and she doesn't need to worry about external validation from, stop being a people pleaser. I was a real people pleaser. I was so desperate for people to like me that I was like chameleon girl. I would merge, I would assimilate, I would blend. And because of that, I didn't really know who I was. You know?
Yeah. But isn't that amazing to have that awareness and that, and you know, and to be able just to, even we're talking about this, but there is an aspect of you that is saying that and is being reassured, and that, of course, has this beautiful healing effect and the ever present, I believe.
Absolutely, because one of the things of being an adult, I think, is when you realise that you have to parent yourself and parent your inner child, and you're not relying, and obviously our parents will always love us and be there for us, but at some point you have to take responsibility and to say to your inner child, which is always innocent, of course, no matter how old you get, I've got you. You're supported, you're loved, I've got you, and you're perfect as you are. And so whenever you talk about your younger self, I think there's part of that going on. It's kind of say, you know, those messages are still there. You know, you're still healing and processing and stuff. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And to not forget about the gift of imagination. Like through imagination, everything really is born. I guess that's how we manifested when we were young, was through our imagination. Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice question. Thank you, Kate.
That's okay. I've kind of connected to my love of painting recently. And it's just such a blessing because I forgot how much I just love doing it. And like you say, to reconnect, we both write, but to do something just for the sake of doing it, it's such a joyful thing, you know. I do think it's an important thing.
I had this conversation yesterday. Yeah, I totally agree. To have something that's just for you, that's nothing to do with work or your kids or your partner or your service. It's just for you. I think that's another key aspect of having a really balanced, happy life.
Yeah, absolutely. To find something, doesn't matter what the thing is. If you're watching this, it hasn't got to be painting or whatever,
Yeah.
meditating, writing. Just find the thing that just for you, that you do because it just makes you happy, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, who or what inspires you to be your best self?
Oh, I love these questions. For sure, my kids.
I knew you were going to say that. I am on fire today.
For sure, I'm a mama, probably first at the moment. My kids, you know, I look to them. They have such potential and such power in these tiny wee bodies. They're only 5, 4, and 14 months.
I want to say that's funny names, but I won't.
Yeah, Rowan, Eden, and Amaya. And they, when I was carrying them, they gave me like a little snippet of their path. If you know, a skeleton of their path, and I'm like, wow, that's quite incredible. They're all very different, but they inspire me every day to be better. And since I really came onto the spiritual path, I strive for that every day. I don't believe in competition and comparison at all, even though I kind of struggled with that in the beginning.
Yeah.
The only person I compete with now is myself. So every day I set the intention to become better, more kinder, more humble, more learned, whatever it is. I set that intention, and there's always more. There's always more to learn. There's always more to remember.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, you don't stop learning because you get older. If anything, it's just different. That's all. I think I probably learn more lessons now than I did actually when I was younger because my awareness is greater now. So I'm probably more aware of the lessons rather than just burying my head in the sand, ignoring them like I used to. I don't want no lessons. No, I'm perfect as I am. Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, the ego is a trickster for sure.
Isn't it just? So, what's next for you? My goodness, you must have. Don't tell me you got not thought about it because I know you're lying.
I have a few things in the pipeline. Well, the Angel Congress, I've asked to speak at the Angel Congress, which is new for me. I've never spoke there. That's in Germany in November. Third book is nearly ready to be sent off. I've got 2 card decks in the works right now, and just courses. I seem to be moving more into women's empowerment, spiritual women's empowerment, and it's just setting me on fire at the moment. I love it.
Tell me about it.
I think because I've reached a time in my life where, honestly, hand on my heart, I actually feel comfortable being on my own, being a single mom. I feel confident in myself. I think there was a part of me that thought I can't do it. I can't have 3 small children and have a business. That won't happen. And I've proved that I can, and it feels really good.
Yeah, I'm with you in that boat, sister. I really am. I mean,
You're incredible as well, what you do.
I have 3 kids. Thank you. I have 3 kids as well. Although they're older, mine are 8 and he's going to be 18 on Sunday. So time really comes out. He'll have his birthday, but yeah, which is scary enough as it is. But it's weird what your ego does, like you said, that fear of like, I can't do this on my own. I can't cope. It's too much. And then you do it because you have to. You don't have a choice. People always say, how are you so strong? And you're like I have a choice in the matter, right?
Yeah.
I was sit in bed every day crying. No, you have to step up. But it's what happens is you proving to yourself just how strong and capable you really are.
Mm-hmm. And then one day you're at the dinner table and they're all just doing their thing, and you know, everything's feels slightly semi-balanced, and you think, wow, I did it, I'm doing it,
Yeah,
I can do
exactly.
this. It's quite incredible. And it's those moments, don't you find, those probably on the surface more mundane moments where I really appreciate spirituality, because it's not just all about meditating and healing and connecting with angels for this, that, and the other. It's about just realizing the blessings, and being in appreciation. And for me,
Yeah,
that's
I mean, one of
spirituality.
my things is that we are spiritual beings, obviously having a human experience. And so every facet of life is spiritual. You
Yeah,
don't have to be down on your knees praying or in a special building or do it on a special day. You know, eating your dinner is spiritual. You know, having sex is spiritual. Going shopping is spiritual. It's because you are spiritual. Therefore, you bring yourself to everything that you do. And it's your intention, it's your focus, it's your awareness in those situations that can really shift the energy if you tune in and realize it for what it is, I think.
for
I don't
sure.
know where that came from, but I'm liking that. I'm going with it. It's cool.
Everyday devotion. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good. It's good. My favourite moments is when they're all like having a laugh together and being really silly, and I just step back and kind of watch them play and being really silly and watch them all laughing, and then I'm just like, yeah, it's cool. I got it. I got it. This is good.
It's so fulfilling, isn't it? It just fills you up.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, last question, my darling. This has been awesome. So, as you know, these interviews are called the Glow interviews, and I chose that title because I wanted to bring some light and some positivity in this crappy time. So, what lights you up? What brings you joy?
Oh, so much.
I knew
Um,
you were gonna say that.
so much. I mean, obviously my kids and seeing them happy, like you say, but like good wine, making love, when I get the chance to, having a good workout, which could be the same thing. Um, you know, honestly, connecting connecting with nature, connecting with the angels, synchronicities, miracle moments, apple pie and ice cream, like these are the things that light me up. You know, divinity and humanity as one light me up. And also seeing people transform. Like I've been doing a lot more one-to-one sessions lately, and just really appreciating just that more personal time, rather than, because I'm so used to teaching groups.
Mm,
So lovely just to see someone transform, and just
yeah.
so heart to heart, and everybody's sharing their vulnerabilities, and that's been really lighting me up. Yeah.
Yeah, it's magic to see someone come to you and they're like at the lowest of their low, and you spend
Yeah.
an hour or two with them and you watch their energy go up and up and up. And by the time they leave you, they're like shining
I
and they're
know.
smiling and they're really positive. And you're like, I did that. I helped that
Yeah,
happen. And it's like, there's no other feeling like it. It really isn't.
I know. And you
Yeah.
can literally hear them singing. You know, their vibration is like, ah. I know we're very blessed, and I know a lot of the listeners are probably, you know, hold the space for others and are healers and teachers, and so we are very blessed in this
Yeah,
community, for sure.
we really are. We really are. Well, listen, guys, go and check out this amazing woman. You've listened to her for the last 45 minutes or so. I hope you've seen what an incredible person she really is, and she brings so much light, like I said. So go check her out. Go click on that link down there. Go and check her out right now. Well, watch the video and then go and check her out. You know what I mean? But Calista, thank you, my darling. This has been an awesome conversation. I've really enjoyed it, and I just send you so much love. I really think you're an amazing woman. I really do.
Thank you, Bidi.
Mwah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And to everyone watching this, thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll definitely see you on the next one. Bye.